Welcome to Counseling Talk. Now, if you hear some background noise, it's because there is some construction going on the back end. For today, Q&A. The question is, hey Juan, I'm thinking about having a marketing person for Google Ads. How much should I spend? That's a good question. It's a very good question. I think we want to look at this question in different ways. One would be the idea of hiring a marketing person for Google Ads. That means that more than likely you're thinking about targeting an audience, right? Targeting like an ideal client. So first off, I am not a marketing specialist. That is not my background, but you could say that I went to the school of the hard knocks, a lot of Google, a lot of YouTube, a lot of just DIY, getting to know the field, and then just knowing a little bit about it, but again, not at that expert level. But I want to be able to provide you some feedback as far as individuals I've hired, conversations I've had, my experiences with dabbling or hiring someone to do that. First, you really want to develop this idea of who your ideal client is so that you're able to know what keywords to utilize. There's a system like Google Keyword tool, which overall helps you identify what people are searching for. But you want to be able to connect what people are searching for to the audience that you have, such as if I work with couples, then maybe the keywords I want to stick to, hence what people are searching for, is couples counseling, marriage counseling, couples counseling near me. There's just a couple of examples there. So then whenever you hire a marketing person, what they're going to do is they're going to just develop, really to the best of their ability, an audience for you, which is your ideal client and what they're searching for. And they'll develop their audience picking really specific keywords. Also, maybe they'll put a certain time of the day when your ad is functioning or live, if you will, when it's out there in the Google space. And then there'll be some sort of budget around it. When it comes to Google, it's per click, meaning that if I see your ad and I don't click on it, then you didn't spend any money. But if I see your ad and you clicked on it, then you spent some sort of money there. And there's usually a low to medium to high threshold, which has to do with the amount of money that you're paying for a keyword. So that, let's say if your area has a hot commodity for marriage counseling, and then you are a counselor that helps couples, so you want to pick the keyword. But let's just say that keyword is just hot, right? It's fire in your area. Fire is funny. Then maybe instead of it being like $1 or $2 or something in that low amount, it's higher. It's like $10 or even higher than that. So then you really want to think about that. And not to scare you off right away, but just consider it. So then from that point, you look at what's called ROI, return on investment. So with your return on investment, let's say that you had a really high word on there, keyword, and it is costing you $10 a click. Well, what if a patient coming in clicks on it and goes, I like this ad. Let me click on it. And then it leads them to your website, and they really love what you have to say on there. They love your YouTube videos. They love your blog writing, and they feel a really strong connection with you. They're really thankful to be like, hey, I'm glad that I found this random ad out there, and it led me to this website, and then now I'm scheduling an appointment with you. So that's that beautiful transition, right, or conversion that we're looking for. So then at that point, if you're charging $200 an hour, that's a really strong return on investment because you paid $10 for that ad. So that's one area that you're going to be spending money, right? That's just money that goes towards Google. Now, the other area that you're going to be spending money is your marketing person. Those fees really vary. Some individuals may charge for what's called a creation of a campaign or a Google ad, if you will, where you go to them, you say, hey, listen, I'd like for you to create an ad that focuses on marriage counseling. For that whole creation process, and some of that can include videos that they set up for you, pretty content that looks really inviting, the entire structure. You could look at hundreds of dollars or even in the thousands, where it's just setting everything up, for it to be ready to launch. Then comes optimization, maintenance mode, because what happens is once you create this ad, right, and let's say you spent $1,000 to create it, and then on top of that you're paying $2, $5, $10, whatever amount of dollars per click, right? On top of that comes in getting to know your audience, because what can happen over time is that a month goes by and then your marketer says, you know what, I noticed in this ad that people are clicking on our keyword therapists, but then when they're clicking on it, it's leading them to go to like physical therapists. So that's what's called like a negative keyword. It negatively leads us to the wrong place. And then from our end, like as clinicians, we're like, well, that doesn't really make sense because we are therapists. But we wanted to be able to look at, is that what the audience is clicking on? And is their intention to click on therapist with the idea of the therapist being a mental health professional versus a physical therapist, occupational therapist? And I got a lot of background noise, so I'm sorry about that. So those are some things to think about there, that even when you pay the upfront cost, there's still that maintenance that goes into it, where you may be paying a couple of $100s a month just to maintain things. Not necessarily that you have to do that, but I think in the world of marketing, it's considered best practice to build something and then continue to monitor it and then maintain it as you go forward. And many of these things, I'm a strong believer in DIY. I also believe in outsourcing, hiring people that are amazing at what they do, and then giving them that freedom to do a great job, so that you're able to bring really strong professionals into your practice. So I went on this topic for a little bit of time, but hopefully I was able to answer your questions. Thank you again for that question. I think it was a really good one. It's a common one when it comes to whenever I'm working with a consulting, someone in their journey of private practice. Thank you for bearing with me with this overly loud noise in the background. Have a beautiful day.